except I can't hear Crystal. Can people hear me?
We are recording now.
Can people hear me?
Yes.
I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we're going to call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. We'll take verbal attendance. Crystal, do you want to start?
Sure. Crystal Adams here.
Dawn Adaletta,
Darlene Cutler,
Sid Blodgett.
say your name, Roger.
Roger Gale. I'd already said it at the same time Charlene did, so.
Oh, okay. We couldn't hear you. You're up, George. Okay, and we can
Those
see
are
that.
things are muted.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, and we can see that George French is here and he's now with us audibly as well. Can I I will entertain a motion to approve the November minutes.
so move.
Thank you, Roger. Is there a second? George?
Still muted.
Anybody can second them. You don't have to be there to second them.
Crystal Adams.
I'll second it.
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay, are there any corrections, additions, or changes that need to be made? Hearing none, all in favor of accepting the minutes as presented, please say aye.
Bye.
I will abstain because I had technical difficulties that meeting.
There are a number of you who will be abstaining.
Okay.
So Charlene is abstaining. Who else is abstaining?
I should abstain.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay, so thank you. We can move on. Public comments or questions? Diane, do you have any comments or questions for us?
I have nothing, thank you.
Okay. An update, I just want to remind people, and I keep doing this because I haven't done it yet, to make sure you complete your sexual harassment training or you're preventing sexual harassment training before the end of the year so that Crystal doesn't have to send us reminders. Then Maple Crest Farm update, as I said in my cover letter to the minutes, we will not be having a public town meeting as we discussed last month. In lieu of that, the Board of Selectmen are exercising their right as authorized by Governor Lamont and will be authorizing the release of funds from the Open Space Land Acquisition Fund to help purchase the development rights of Maple Crest Farm. Crystal, and we were alluding to this before the meeting, Crystal has placed the PowerPoint that Sid and I put together last fall on a number of different sites. So there's lots of different access to it. People who have questions will be able to send them to Crystal up to 6:30 it is the night before. Okay, you're muted,
Yeah.
Crystal.
6 p.m. the night before, and
Yes.
yeah.
And then they'll be forwarded to me, so I have time to make sure I've got all the right answers to the questions. The questions and answers will be read aloud at the Board of Selectmen meeting on December 17th. And then the selectmen will vote. So if I can make sure that when I get my agenda for the Board of Selectmen's meeting, I'll forward it to everybody on the Open Space Committee so that you'll have the same Zoom link. If something happens, you can always get that on the town website so that you always have access to these meetings and you can participate, you can listen in on this meeting as well. So that's the latest on Maple Crest. It's been a saga. Yes, Sid?
So just to clarify, questions or comments should be sent to Crystal by 6 p.m. on the 16th,
Correct,
and the meeting is the 17th.
correct.
At what time?
4 o'clock
4 o'clock. Okay.
in the afternoon.
And that's all Zoom.
That's all Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and so that will be, and there will be 2 items on the agenda. We're up first, and then the second one is an ordinance for tax relief for horse and pony owners. So I learned a little bit about the history of horse and pony owners, and why we're rescinding that tax ordinance. Our next thing on the agenda is a budget request. As you know, we deal with a lot of confidential information when we're putting together a budget. And so when we go into executive session, we'll talk about how much for each parcel and all of that kind of stuff that we're estimating. So I will give broad oversight now for public consumption, which is that we have 5 projects in the pipeline, including Maple Crest Farm. I'm sorry, I think I've got a call in from Stuart. Okay. I'm going to take a call from Stuart. Hi, Stuart.
How are you? I'm trying to get on a Zoom meeting. I keep getting this thing, the meeting hasn't started.
Try shutting it down and clicking it again.
All right.
Okay, but yes, we are. Crystal, is there a number that Stuart can call in case he can't open the Zoom? He's trying to get in.
There is a phone number. It's on the agenda and I will pull it up on my phone right now.
Okay, Crystal says there is a phone number that's on the agenda. I'm looking at it. Is it the New York?
Number, right?
Is it?
I think it's the New York number you need.
I know. I'm trying to find.
I had a little trouble getting on myself.
I never know. Yes,
Hey, Chan.
Chan just said that he had problems as well. So Crystal, which number should Stuart call?
He can dial any of the numbers, but I'm going to give him the number at the top of the list.
The
Yes.
Chicago number?
Yep, 312.
Yeah, if you call the Chicago number, Crystal says you should get in.
Yeah, any of those numbers should work. Does he have the list in front of him?
Well, if I get tired of it, I'll be after.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks for calling, Stuart. Bye. So Stuart was having technical difficulties, but he's going to try calling one of these, or maybe all of these numbers. He liked the Germantown number for some reason, but he's going to call Chicago. So where was I? Oh, 5 projects. Budget. 5 projects in the pipeline, including Maple Crest Farm. We have approximately 600,000 in the acquisition fund, and we will, I'll double check those numbers. We're working a little bit ahead of schedule from the treasurer's office because I wanted to make sure if we had any questions or anything, we wouldn't be dealing with those 2 days before our budget request was due. And I'm recommending that we request $30,000 for the acquisition fund and 1,000 towards the operating, if you will, budget. Charlene, this is the first year that you've had the chance to participate in this process. So if you in particular have any questions, I will be happy to try to make you less confused.
No confusion for me.
Okay.
Remember, I'm just an alternate. I haven't yet had an opportunity to even vote on that committee, but I will take your information back and
Actually, I wanted to make sure you understood the open space
oh, I
process.
do. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And when, yes, and much as Chan does, it will be your job to advocate for us when it comes to budget time. But they'll get all the formal requests from this committee. I send everything to Karen and to Mike directly. So
yeah,
they always see everything. So any questions from anybody that doesn't involve specific projects? Okay. Committee reports? Anything from anybody? Board of Selectmen, planning and zoning, conservation, Board of Finance.
We're just, we're happy we're going to be able to get the Maple Crest project past us. I realize the selectmen have been the last stumbling block on this whole project, but unfortunately, due to the current events, this is about as best as we could. We really wanted to hold out for a town meeting, but it just isn't in the cards.
And that's quite all right. You know, nobody was being deliberately obstructionist. There were lots of obstacles, and so we're moving forward, and that's what matters. Anything from conservation, Crystal?
I let them know where we were on Maple Crest at our meeting on November 23rd, and
Terrific.
they were excited to hear about that. We have a drought coordinator who we've appointed. It's Josh Batone, and the town has, the selectmen
Okay.
has appointed him, not conservation, but conservation has invited him to come to a meeting to learn more about the drought that we're in and steps that can be taken. And yeah, we talked about the pollinator pathway project and just what we've got going on there. So they were very excited to hear where we stood on Maple Crest Farm, though.
Great, great. Sid, anything from planning and zoning? Oh, yes.
There we go. We had a public hearing regarding the gas station market in West Woodstock, and that was finally approved with several changes, all I think for the better, based on input from the public. There's also proposed a small 3-lot subdivision on Center Road. The owner's name escapes me. It's farmland, supporting cornfields now. I wish I had a map, block, and lot, or a
Yeah.
name or a location, but it's a little bit of a crest of a hill. So I can't explain the location better, but it's just, I don't
Is
know.
that a new development, or is that one that was approved in the past and they're finally moving forward on it?
No, this is a new development, 3 lots. And maybe a 4th using the existing house. So it's probably going to happen, but it's just kind of a shame to see a piece of farmland go that way.
Hey, Sid,
Somewhere near the end of Town Farm Road, Sid?
No, from Bradford Corner, heading towards, oh, I need a map. I go by it all the time.
Yeah.
Going toward Center Schoolhouse Road in that direction, or toward 197?
More towards County Road.
before Spalding's?
Yes.
Okay.
Does it abut Spalding's?
No, it's quite a ways away. It's probably about halfway between Spalding's and Bradford Corner Road on the north
Okay,
side.
going that way, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I don't even have a paper map or anything with me, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sid, on another subject, have you, has the zoning board heard anything about a bill that may come before the state legislature that concerns desegregating Connecticut?
Not that I'm aware of.
It's-
Jeff Gordon, chairman, may have received something, and maybe he might bring it up next week, next Thursday at our regular meeting, but I haven't
Okay,
heard.
it's a bill that really, it says desegregating Connecticut, but it's really going after zoning, I believe, for the small towns and trying to take some of our
Is that the land use?
authorization.
Is that the
Pardon?
is that the state land use bill, that the state would determine land use, not local towns?
I think that I just heard a little bit about it. I don't know too much about it myself, but I mean, the title of it gives you all together a different impression of what
What
it's,
it real-
what it's going after.
Okay,
So I
Could
was
the
just,
state possibly know how to regulate Woodstock land or any other rural communities' land better than the people that live there?
it's it's a bill that's being proposed. I know as of last month, it hadn't
they
been.
tried it last year, they told me, and it didn't go anywhere, so.
Right, it's very similar to, you know, the siting council, where there's a council there, Stuart, where there's you know, the state gets to decide where nuclear waste deposits go, where ash waste goes, where
Multifamily housing,
where cell towers go. The state gets to decide that, local communities don't. And this particular state rep is suggesting that that level of control be exercised in Hartford over all land use. So that
yeah.
is of concern to this committee and to a number of other
Mhm.
communities.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up. I
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah, but I hadn't heard that it had been introduced yet, that somebody was still just trying to float it.
Right, and they tried it last year, and I guess it didn't go anywhere, so,
Yeah. I mean, he couldn't get sponsorship last year,
yeah, okay.
so. But weren't you talking about that at planning zoning? Didn't Gail bring it up or something last month at your meeting? Not that you remember? Okay. Okay.
You might have, not that I recall though.
Okay. Anything else from P and Z?
No, that's about it.
Okay. Charlene, did you have anything from Board of Finance to share?
Well, I can mention that we had our meeting Tuesday. Normally, we would be reviewing the audit and the financial statements. They are late, though. And I guess that this is kind of a COVID-related delay for a lot of the
Yeah.
communities. So it is expected that those financial statements will be to us before the end of the month. There is a filing requirement for OPM to get those the audits in by the 31st. And so when they get to the town treasurer, they will be distributed and they will go up online. So
Okay.
people will have access.
Stuart, can you hear us?
I can.
Do you have anything from the Ag Committee that you want to share with us?
No, nothing. We've been pretty inactive.
Okay. You missed the beginning thing where the Board of Selectmen are going to vote to authorize the release of the open space funds for Maple
I saw that
Crest.
in the minutes of the selectmen's
Okay.
meeting.
Okay, great. Okay, so you're more than all caught up. Okay, George, did you have anything from your at-large position that you wanted to share? Okay. Diane, at this point, we go into executive session, which we stop recording and is not open to the public. But if you have any questions or comments you want to make before we do that, we'll be happy to hear them now.
No, I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay, all right, then I'll see you next week at the Board of Selectmen's meeting. Take care. So if we have a motion to go into executive session?
So
So
moved.
moved. Do it.
Second,
And
Roger.
second, okay, thank you. So we'll go into executive session to discuss preservation 754, and the meeting is still going on. We will go back to discussing the budget. We have a recommendation to increase the budget request to 50,000, did I hear? No, I'm sorry. I really did
Yep.
think,
Yeah.
I thought I saw
Yeah, I would
Stuart,
support 50.
Sid
Yeah.
doing 50.
Yeah.
I just, maybe if by increasing the budget, we're going to raise some eyebrows a little bit more. We're going to make a little bit stronger statement as to what we see happening down the next 5 to 10 years, as Stu was saying.
Okay,
So
So no more being polite and
do it six.
understanding. Okay, so is there a second for the 50,000?
I second.
Okay. All right. And what about for the operation, the so-called professional services? That is, whatever we get for acquisitions, Charlene, rolls over, and that goes into our savings account, if you will, if we don't expend it in a given year. For the professional services, which includes educational brochures, having speakers come in. It included the plaque that we have hung in Town Hall. In the past, we've also been able to use that towards appraisals, but now appraisals are too expensive. And what happens is that money goes away at the end of the year. So if we ask for too much, they take it out of our overall budget, put that much. For example, if we're asking for 50 and we think we're going to need 5,000 or 10,000 in professional services, they'll say, we'll give you 50 total and put 10 in professional services. And then when we don't spend it, because Hartford
take it
is
away.
not
Yeah.
working on our calendar, they take it away. So we wound up getting hurt in our savings account. So this year, I'm willing to just keep fighting with Hartford and saying, sorry, we don't have the money. We can't do appraisals. We can't do this. We can't do that. All we can do is pay our 25% or up to 50% for the smaller farms. And that's what we can do. So if that's, and you know, unless, and I think $1,000 would be adequate to do brochures if we want to do something like that. I think, you know, who knows how long we'll still all be locked down and separated from each other. Another stronger PowerPoint presentation might be a better way to reach out to a lot of people than brochures at meetings.
Well, by asking for more money for the acquisition fund and leaving the operating budget on the smaller end, we are technically making a statement that we feel which part is stronger, which part we're more concerned about, which
Okay.
part is going to carry on over the years.
Okay. Sid, were you going to say something?
I'd like to make a motion that we request the operating component to be $1,000.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. So then all in favor of submitting a budget request for $50,000 for the acquisition fund and $1,000 for the operating, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
So it's unanimous. Thank you. Thank you for this vibrant and thoughtful conversation tonight. This was very helpful to hear all of your thoughts. And actually, it made me feel good to be working with all of you. So thank you. That this was a good meeting tonight, or at least I thought it was a good meeting tonight.
Oh, no, definitely.
It was.
Yep.
So is there anything else to come before the board at this time or the
I-
commission?
I'd just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas because I don't think we're going to talk until, what, next month?
Right.
Yep. Well, we're not going to have another one of these meetings until
Yep.
January. But don't forget that you can Zoom into the Board of Selectmen's meeting next Thursday and lurk and watch everything that happens and as it unfolds. So if there's nothing else other than Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New
Merry
Year.
Christmas to all.
Yep.
Enjoy
Merry
the
Christmas.
star show that's going on in the skies these days.
Yes.
Go out and look in your backyard around 10 o'clock tonight. We're supposed to be maybe see some northern lights. So enjoy the universe. And is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Roger.
Thank you all and good night.
Good
Good
night.
Good night,
Don.
everyone. Merry
Thank you.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.